Okay, hello everybody. Today I want to go over the Kimi-K 2.5 model again. I've spent a few days with it. I want to say like what's been going good, what hasn't, and I also want to talk about just in general how I think I will continue working into the future and how I feel other people have to adapt as well. Specifically because I've had a lot of these conversations and I have adopted this stuff like 2 years ago and I'm sticking to this. I know that there are many flaws, there are many trade-offs, pros and cons to this technology, but I also think the total of it, the amount that it can expand your capacity, is more important than the what it takes away in terms of like attention to detail or like perfection, at least for me. Now, if you're somebody that does this as an art form, probably you should stick to doing what you do. But I don't think most businesses care. And I want to go over why I think so and walk through this model's outputs a little bit. So I've been using it over the last few days, and one of the places I've used it the most is in VLM Studio. So I wanted to redo this website like style. I didn't want to change it too much. I can show you what it used to look like. So this is what it used to look like. I wanted to make it like pop a little more, look a little more professional. I wanted to see if there was anything I can do to make it more comfortable to look at, both on the mobile and on the desktop side. And I found this to be like way more pleasant to look at than this for various reasons. And if I go here, you could see like everything's just a little bit more refined. The color usage is really nice and subtle, and I really do enjoy that. I don't think there's any model that does it the way that Kimi does it right now, and so it fits really well into like a your tool belt. If you're building websites or building visual expressions, then maybe it is good to have something like this that you can use. Because I struggle with this a lot, and it's not the type of thing that I'm good at. So that's one thing that I've used it a lot for, and another is their website. So this Kimi-K 2.5 or like the Kimi.com website has this agent mode that I really enjoy. I found it to be similar to Manus. I used to actually pay for like the one of the most expensive Manus tiers because I really enjoyed the way it worked. There weren't many things that did this at that point. But I feel like this is much better than what Manus was like. The model is very good. It's very coherent. It has good image support, and it can produce like interesting stuff, which I have really enjoyed working with. It's very unique. It follows instructions pretty well. It tends to overcomplicate things though. I've tried the, what's it called? The swarm feature, because a lot of people say it's nice, and I kind of get it, but there's something that I just don't like where I don't have as much control over it. And I feel like its outputs were like lower quality in general inside of this setup. Like this is way too complicated for a website, and I had no control over it over the time it was running. But with this like single agent mode, I've enjoyed it a lot. I can see where that would help. And I can actually talk about part of what I do with these things on a day-to-day basis. But I can see why it could help if you're running like parallelized tasks to do web scraping or like hacking or whatever it is that you're trying to do. But I haven't found it useful on the UI side yet. Another thing that I'm doing a lot is creating these, what are these called? The thumbnails for YouTube. I started creating these thumbnails, and they've been doing pretty good. I mean, they increased my click-through rate on YouTube. I feel like they're clean enough. They have some flaws as well, obviously, but it has gotten a lot better. And this is something that I haven't done before. I don't usually play around with image AI, but this is super high quality. This is the Nano Banana one. So I'm running the Z image. What was it called? The one that was made by Quen. Let's see if it lets me do this editing. Can you get a UI up where I can attach an image as well? So this is Claude Code. Claude Code is managing my SSH environment. So this is like my home server with the AI farm. And you can see that it is basically SSHing into it, setting up stuff for me, like it's installing Qwen image edit. It was working a minute ago, but I changed the model. It's setting up the UI. It's set up, I forgot what it's called, a Gradio or whatever, that lets you do the image generation. I can also tell it to like do whatever I want it to do, right? Go scrape this data for me, install these models, clean up, create recipes for running my local models, and it's very helpful. I've started depending less and less on Claude than I used to, because in general, I feel like the models have really caught up to it. Let's see the preview v2. Hopefully it's better. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's see. That's very nice. I think I'm going to keep this one. It's doing some really interesting things. Let's see. It has other ones. Okay, that is really cool. Man, that is cool. It has some flaws still, but that's pretty good. Well done. Oh, I love this. I love this. And let's give it the blog and let it do its thing. So now I'm going to just reprompt it to continue and maybe improve it. And yeah, I'll just keep pushing it to see. This versioning is really nice, and I wish more applications use this type of thing, because then you can just jump back and forth between versions without losing anything. And so you can see this is like my landing page. It could be improved. It's still got a lot of flaws. Like the color is a little weird. It doesn't look good enough, in my opinion, but it does work, and this part I like. This part I like, but it could be improved, is my point. And so I'm trying to improve it with the Kimi-K 2.5 model, because I've really enjoyed its design chops. It's something that I really, really, really have enjoyed. Let's go and get this running on, let's see, my tail scale, my devices. Come on, tail scale. And yeah, tail scale is something that I like a lot. It's been really nice being able to just jump between all of the websites, like all my devices. Let's continue to HTTP site. Uh, okay, upload image or update. So let's give it something like our T3 chat example here. And yeah, let me install that real quick. Where is it? T3 chat, there you go. Save image, replace, and this is a local model that's running on my home server. It is the Qwen image edit model. I'm trying to see if it can do these, make something similar but different. Let's see how well it can just figure out like how to, because I want to do this for thumbnails, and we'll see if it'll actually work. And it is processing. So it is processing. It just takes a little bit of time. I think it's like 2 minutes before it's ready. And this is one of the bigger use cases that I've had over the last week. We went over, yeah, you could see here how I am using Claude Code, and I just use it like this mostly these days. I don't really have it do any coding, or very little coding compared to what I used to do. So I also have Kimi-K2 running here, so I wanted to make more animations like this on the splash screen and make a little circle tab thing at the bottom to switch between animations. Let's see how it does. So this is running in open code. This is via the Kimi coding plan. It has worked pretty good up until this point. I think they need to, no. Let's figure out the thinking. Is it going to think? Oh, there you go. Hi. Let's give it the hi thinking. And continue just to make sure that it catches on. And so I've used it a lot in these UIs. I found though that the UIs, like the Droid and the Pi and OpenCode, like they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're still better than anything like most of these other bigger models or like these proprietary models can cook up in terms of front end stuff. But they are worse than the website. Like their website is just phenomenal at building UIs. You can see here, like it's just so well refined, and maybe they trained it on this specific environment. I wouldn't know. So this is another thing that I do. Data entry and research is a huge one. So if we go to extensions, let me reload this. I am in the process. Okay. Let's see if we can get Kimi for coding. I don't want to do that right now because it would, actually, yeah, I will do it right now. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. I'm going to cover my screen here, and we will enter it. So yeah, I use the Chrome extension a lot, and you would be surprised how much work you can automate via the Chrome extension. It is very cool. It gives you like essentially a bot, right? So you used to have to write bots for things, and it just lets you do that off the bat, which I find to be super interesting. I don't have to like build my own bots anymore. Let me just focus on this for a second. Kimi for coding and HTTPS. So api.kimi and .com/coding. Hopefully this works. Save, and hi. Let's see if it'll work. Oh, no output generated, check stream. Well, that sucks because I've been refactoring it and now it's not working. Let's see how we can go through other stuff while we wait. There you go. And you can see here that it made a plan and it's doing its thing. I am building, so VLM Studio, I have this work thing. I don't really want to show it, but a lot of it is doing data management, and we can actually just demonstrate it with Claude. We can go here, go to DeepDAO, and get me all the project data you can. And let's just see what I mean by this. So running these types of automations is very helpful because you could do anything that is like a hassle to do manually, right? Interacting with websites. And this is where I think a lot of people don't understand what's coming, is that like people still build websites for people. They still think, okay, a person is going to go on this website and click the buttons very slowly and do all that. And I just don't think that that's the case anymore. I don't think that people are going onto websites and looking at data indexes and stuff. People are going onto social media, they're going onto their AI apps, they're going into their browser, maybe once in a while to go to Google, and that's pretty much it. So we have to build around the idea that, you know, most people aren't doing anything on the internet that is productive or creative, right? They're just going and looking at stuff. And that's a problem, right? Because if you're building all of these applications and systems and services where you expect somebody is going to open a phone, then we have to do stupid things like this where we build a model and we basically train it to like navigate a browser when it could just navigate a CLI tool, or it could just navigate an API. And I just don't understand why people do it this way anymore. I don't get it. And I think there's like this huge thing about like, oh, the quality of the output of the model, the accuracy of the model, blah, 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 and the time it takes to clean up after it and the issues that it can cost. And while I agree with all, like, yes, those are problems, but the trade-offs, if you think of it, are really well worth it. One, people are inaccurate. I can go on 10 websites right now built by people like 20 years ago that have 100 bugs in them. You're not like most people, most companies or most people are not Google. They're not building for billions of other human beings, right? And so it doesn't matter if you're just like a little bit inaccurate or if your user experience is a little bit bad. It doesn't matter, especially when you have little to no users. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have something that can be navigated easily. And if we assume that the internet is constantly being crawled by these things, which it is, then building out these systems specifically with them in mind is the way that we are going to get to more productive, more creative times. We are going to go and look and see if something changed here. There. So it's still processing. It takes a lot more time, from what I understand, to do it with image than to just do it with text. So with text, where I just did a text prompt, it gave me the result in 60 seconds to 80 seconds. Now it's like 5+ minutes. And we can see here. Now, there you go, and we have data. And so this is essentially a form of data scraping, right? Forgetting about like forgetting about the laws of it, this is data scraping at some level, because this output can be used for anything that you want. And so this is super important. Now, what if I wanted it to go and build me, let's see if this will actually work. Yeah, it's just not going to work. Custom. Yeah, it's a little too late, but I will do it with this. So let us think about something else that you might have to do for your job. Let's say you go on LinkedIn, right? And you're doing data entry, or you're doing something. You're just doing something, and you can just basically tell it to go find me people that work in AI that are hiring from top 100 companies. Find employees that work there that are in their 20s. So, example, you want to reach out to people, you want to try to get hired. This is a great example of what you can do. You can set it up, you can have it run, and you can let it just research. So let's see, figure it out. Please, no questions. And yeah, I would usually be more descriptive with it and let it do the back and forth, but right now we're just trying to demonstrate what is and isn't useful. So there you go. Now we have this thing researching the web for us, doing things for us in 2 places. When we say more, then go to HackMD and create a new document with a table that has all the projects. And now this is a data report. And we can do it here, and we can launch another one and another one and another one, and we can do this all day. And there's millions of things that you can do like this. People pay for people to go and do this kind of stuff, right? Are you a recruiter? This is a recruiter. Are you a publisher? Are you a reviewer? This is a reviewer. QA, we can do QA. Let's go over to localhost 3000 maybe, and let's switch over to Claude. And I want you to QA this website. Don't click on any actions. Just look at the pages and tell me what is wrong, and let it do its thing. So now we have 3 people working for us, right? That used to have, like, I used to employ people. I did employ people, and I don't employ people anymore. And I don't think I will for most types of people. There are probably a very few amount of people that I would employ that I know to do something for me that I would rather pay than just sit with AI for an hour. Because, like, look, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and all of these are doing something. All of these are constantly working towards some goal. So let's see, we have no, I like this color more. I don't like that the thing changed. Okay, so it's just going to go over. I can't actually click it anymore, which sucks, but it looks very, very nice. And we will see what's in the website. So that's 4, and this one's making the thumbnails. You used to have to pay people to make the thumbnails. You used to have to pay people to edit videos. You can just do that with an AI now. You used to have to pay people to, like, do practically everything, and you don't need to do that anymore. But what you need is a good environment. And I think this is where a lot of companies and people are tripping up, is that their environment is bad. It does not support this, right? Their environment is old. There's too much bullshit in their systems that doesn't matter, that doesn't help. And it's just sitting there, and it's rotting, and it's corroding essentially anything that you could do with a website. And I think this is true for a lot of companies. And this is true for, like, myself even in many ways. You hold on to this, like, stuff that you've done in the past that for some reason you think is great, instead of just clicking the refresh button. because clicking the refresh button works. You could just say keep going, and then cherry pick. You can run 50 of them and then pick the best website, right? It doesn't it's all about how much money that you're willing to spend or how much you're willing to build towards a system that can do this on its own, as opposed to having to spend money. So now we can see here, and let's see, particle swarm. What are the URLs? I can go on to see it, and we will figure it out. And here you go. My little data scraper, guys, is scraping data, right? And there's nothing you can do to stop this. There's nothing you can do to stop this. There's nothing that you can do to make this worse. You can slow it down and you can delay the inevitable by trying to stick onto the old way of doing things. You can try to convince yourself that, yeah, that 5% accuracy loss is actually worth whatever 20 hours and people working for weeks to ship one small thing, instead of realizing we are in the age where you can click a button and get whatever you want. You just have to say the words in the right order. You don't even have to say the words. You just have to say, well, I'm trying to do something. Tell me what I can do, and then write me the words, and I can go put them somewhere else. And I do that a lot. I go onto GPT, the ChatGPT website, and I do that. I just go and say, hey, look, I'm trying to build something. Please make me a scope of work that I can use, that I can go and give to someone else. And that's good enough to me, right? I can take that scope of work, I can copy it, I can put it inside of OpenCode or Cursor or whatever, Claude Code, and I can run it. And the main level of understanding that you have to have is that this is not just code. Code is just the most visible version of this. I would say this is the real killer. This here is the real killer. This will take people's jobs away because this is most of people's work, right? I don't need to know any of it. I just need to say, hey, go and do it and try to be relatively accurate, because I think this is relatively accurate. I think this is better than what most people can come up with. And I do 10 of these a day, and I do them 50 times a day, right? Because you just finish the prompt, you get what you want, you take it, and you get going. So let's see, this is crashing. And this is one issue that I've had with OpenCode that I just don't enjoy. Let's go and we can do OpenCode and we can resume, or we can do the session and get back in there. So let's see, Mandelbloom. And a lot of them tend to to do this Mandelbloom thing. And we can go here. And then, is this ready or is this a flop? This seems to be stuck or something's wrong, but maybe that's just how it is. Let's go to here and say, make it about, no, not that. We are going to copy this. And actually, we're just going to go and take this, edit it. Let's say, yeah, let's edit it. And let's do this. And we can send this again and get my YouTube thumbnail for the day, unless this finishes at some point. I don't think it will. But if it does, I will pick it. Now, this is I love this. This is just something that I really, really, really enjoy, and I'm going to use this website. Pattern, see, now it crashed. So they have issues, but how long would it have taken to make one of those animations? It just doesn't make any sense to me how people are thinking about this, or what people think of themselves in general and their position in the world. It doesn't matter if this is a bubble and that everybody's obsessed, or if this is actually the beginning of the end of work for people. Doesn't matter. The point is, either way, you're fucked, right? And people have to understand that. Hopefully this was helpful, and yeah. I don't mean to fearmonger, because life is great, and I think life will be great. But you have to use the tools available to you at the time to move forward. Thank you for watching.